Hey, it's Jason. We just completed our DEN Barnhouse Plus and want to talk a little bit about costs. In the beginning of this project, it was purely a rental. And then with the birth of my son, we decided to use it more. So I think we decided to splurge a little on the finishes. So originally we had one budget that was kind of more rental grade interior stuff, but now it's become a little more personal and we upped the budget on the finishes. We are sitting on around 9 acres. This was raw land, there was nothing here before. And it's very wooded, as you can see, so it required a lot of clearing. Our land cost was $120,000. Since we have all this land, I think down the line we will put up another little cabin that's purely for rental. With this build, since we are technically kind of off-grid, we don't have access to sewer or water. We've got a well here that was not included in my contractor quote, which was an additional $7,000, and that included the pump and drilling the well, which is around 150 feet deep. Our septic system was included in our contractor quote, and it's a traditional septic. It has a leach field, and since we are off-grid, it is very important. We did a standing seam roof, which is black, as you can see. The roof is kind of design forward, so it is a metal roof, which has a certain look which we like, but also it's really efficient with snow, so snow slides right off of it, and I think my roof came in at around $10,000. Decking costs. So we have, I think, exactly 800 square feet here. I basically break it down into two components, decking and then underneath the deck, which is all pressure treated dimensional lumber. The decking, I think, was around $6,000, and then all the pressure treated dimensional lumber underneath was close to around $5,000 to $6,000 on top of the decking. Important aspect of the deck was having no maintenance, which did cost more having the composite decking, but you know, sanding and refinishing a deck every season is not something I wanted to do. My friend and I did all the labor. It was roughly about 2 weeks worth of work, pretty intense work. I would say by doing the deck myself, I probably saved around $20,000, give or take. Probably even more, which was huge savings. So the front door was kind of a feature, design feature. We went with a Douglas fir solid core door. It is an 8-footer, which is kind of bigger than your average front door, which again kind of added to the drama of the big barn house. This was roughly, I think, $3,200 for this door. Again, it was kind of a splurge just because it was a big design feature, and I did the install on this. With furnishings, that was mainly my wife. She kind of curated and picked everything. Again, we tried to keep it very minimal. You know, the color palette is very muted, nothing super bright. A more modern kind of look with everything. I think for our total furnishing costs was close to 30 to 40 grand. That includes 2 beds, a couch. We got a beautiful dining table here, a chair by the fireplace. Got this credenza here as well, and then nightstands and little things to kind of fill in between. You know, this is a big space and it is minimal, but you don't want it to look sparse. So yeah, filling in with little things has kind of been a process, and we're kind of still working on that. Okay, so appliances. I think we landed close to around 8,000, and that includes a washer and dryer. So we've got a KitchenAid refrigerator, double door refrigerator. We have our induction KitchenAid stovetop. Microwave is here. They call these built-in microwaves. We basically built the island around this microwave so that it's hidden out of the way. For our dishwasher and our trash compactor, we did panel ready, which basically means you don't see an appliance, you see a cabinet panel. And it's just a way to hide appliances. Basically, this is a cabinet front attached to our trash compactor. The panel ready stuff is generally a little more expensive, and it also requires some carpentry. Like, these panels had to be custom made to fit this exact appliance. But again, I think not looking at an appliance is better than looking at an appliance. The fireplace is, again, kind of a big feature of the house. I was very specific on the design of the fireplace we got. This is a Supreme, it's a Canadian company. It's very minimal. I like the design of it. So it was kind of a splurge. I think the fireplace was around $3,500, and that came with this base that it sits on so you can store your wood underneath. And again, I did all the install, so labor was free. And then additionally, we had to buy about 18 feet of double wall stovepipe, which was, I would say, an additional $2,000. You know, you don't have to spend that much on a wood burning stove, but again, design was very important to me. With windows and doors, I wanted something very specific, which was, I wanted a matte black finish, and I also wanted a fiberglass product. Just because we're in the Northeast, winters are rough, we wanted something durable. Again, my contractor handled windows and doors, but I did price compare his quote versus my quote. I would say roughly my sliders were around $10,000, and then the rest of my windows and doors were around another $10,000, give or take. As a freelance photographer, I have time on my hands, which is great. So I would come up, commute to the house whenever I had free time and knock projects out. Once there was a roof on the house and windows and doors, exterior windows and doors, I came in, I kind of did all the interior finish work. Flooring, tiling, baseboard, trim. I hung all the doors, put the fireplace in, put all the toilets in, painted. And around $70,000 was all the finished work that I did. With me contributing all of the labor on the interior, I would say I saved around 20% on the total cost of the build. So with our contractor, we kind of did an a la carte situation. Since I wanted to do a lot of the labor, I kind of picked and chose what I wanted him to do. My total contractor bill was around $300,000, and that was kind of all in. There was no overages. I had him pour my foundation. He did all of my rough ends for my plumbing and electric. He framed my house, sheathed my house, put a roof on the house, and also installed my septic system. For this build, including land, my contractor fees, and all of the finished work that I did, we're sitting close to around $500,000. Roughly in the $300 a square foot range, and that does not include the land. I think if there's one piece of advice I would give to potential DEN customers is doing your research on products and finding the best prices on things. You know, I think with every project I did through a contractor, I got 4 or 5 quotes, and all of those quotes were much, much different than the others. So doing your research, getting a bunch of quotes on things if you're not going to do it yourself, and kind of price comparing for the best price.